Stop taking creatine and whey protein after 50. At least that is what your doctor probably told you. Creatine side effects: liver damage from protein powder, kidney damage from supplements. You have heard all of it, and now you are terrified that the very thing you are taking to build muscle after 50 is quietly destroying your liver. A brand new study from 2023 just changed everything we thought we knew about creatine safety for older men. And what they found about whey protein and liver health will shock you, because the real danger is not what anyone is talking about. If you are a man over 50 taking supplements for muscle building and anti-aging, this might be the most important fitness over 50 video you will ever watch. I am going to show you exactly what happens inside your liver when you combine creatine monohydrate and whey protein at your age, what your blood work is actually saying versus what your doctor thinks it is saying, and the one common mistake men over 50 make every single day that causes more liver damage than creatine and whey protein ever could. But I need you to stay until the end, because the final verdict is not what you expect. And if you want my free 30-day workout plan built specifically for men over 50, type the word active in the comments right now, because your health matters to me. Now let us get into this. Your doctor might be reading your blood work completely wrong. Here is where things get really interesting and honestly a little scary if you do not know what is going on. You walk into your doctor's office feeling great. You have been taking your creatine monohydrate, mixing your whey protein shake after your workouts, putting in the work, and honestly feeling better than you have in years. Then the blood results come back. Your doctor looks at you over those reading glasses. You know the look, the one that makes you feel like you just got called to the principal's office at age 55, and says your creatinine levels are elevated. Maybe your liver enzymes are flagged too. Suddenly your supplement stack sounds like a criminal indictment. But here is what most general practitioners do not understand about creatine supplementation. When you take creatine, your body naturally converts a portion of it into creatinine, which is a metabolic byproduct. That is completely normal. That is not damage. That is chemistry. Your body is supposed to do that. It is like being alarmed that your car produces exhaust when the engine is running. That does not mean the engine is broken. It means the engine is working. A landmark paper published in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition confirmed that creatine supplementation raises serum creatinine levels without any corresponding decline in actual kidney or liver function. Read that again. The numbers go up on paper, but nothing is actually wrong inside your body. Now here is the part that should make you sit up straight. A study out of Sao Paulo, Brazil, published in 2023, followed older adults taking creatine for over 5 years. 5 years. These were not young college athletes. These were people your age. And their liver function tests, when properly interpreted using cystatin C measurements instead of crude creatinine estimates, showed absolutely no deterioration. Zero. But your doctor probably does not use cystatin C. Your doctor is using the old-school markers that creatine is specifically known to inflate. So you are sitting there panicking over a number that is essentially meaningless in context. That is like checking the oil light on a Tesla. It does not even apply. But hold on. I am not letting creatine and whey off the hook that easily. Because there is something happening in the liver after 50 that you absolutely need to understand before you decide these supplements are harmless. And this is where most content creators just wave their hand and say you are fine. I am not going to do that to you. What I am about to show you next is genuinely important. What actually happens inside your liver when you combine creatine and whey after 50? Your liver is the most underappreciated organ in your entire body. This thing performs over 500 different functions every single day. 500. It filters toxins, produces bile, stores vitamins, regulates cholesterol, metabolizes every single thing you swallow, and it does all of this without ever asking for a day off. Your liver is basically that one coworker who does everything while the rest of the organs are standing around the water cooler. But here is the reality check. After the age of 50, your liver starts to change. Blood flow to the liver decreases by roughly 35 to 40% between the ages of 25 and 65. The total volume of the liver itself actually shrinks. Phase 1 and Phase 2 detoxification pathways begin to slow down. This is not fear-mongering. This is just biology doing what biology does when the odometer has some miles on it. So the question becomes, when you add creatine and whey protein into a system that is already working with reduced capacity, are you overloading it? And this is where the conversation gets genuinely fascinating because the answer is not a simple yes or no. Your liver is responsible for synthesizing creatine naturally. It already makes about 1 to 2 grams per day using the amino acids glycine, arginine, and methionine. When you supplement with exogenous creatine, you are actually reducing the synthetic burden on your liver. Your liver has to do less work, not more. That is counterintuitive, right? Most people assume adding a supplement means adding work. In this case, you are essentially telling your liver, hey, take a break, I brought my own. Now whey protein is where the story gets even more interesting and where I need you to pay very close attention. Whey protein is rich in an amino acid called cysteine. Cysteine is the rate-limiting precursor to glutathione production. And if you do not know what glutathione is, let me tell you right now. Glutathione is the single most powerful antioxidant your liver produces. It is your liver's personal bodyguard. It is the master detoxifier. And here is the shocking part. After the age of 50, your natural glutathione levels decline significantly. Some research published in the journal Antioxidants and Redox Signaling shows that glutathione levels can drop by as much as 17% per decade after middle age. So your liver is losing its best defense system right when it needs it the most. And whey protein, the very thing people are afraid is damaging the liver, contains the exact raw material your liver needs to rebuild that defense system. Now I want to be very clear. I am not saying you can drink 6 whey protein shakes a day and your liver will throw you a thank you party. Dosage matters. Quality matters. And your individual health history matters enormously. If you already have a diagnosed liver condition like non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which affects nearly 30% of adults over 50, then this conversation changes dramatically. But for a generally healthy man over 50, the mechanism of action here is not what the fear-mongers want you to believe. And yet, there is still a piece of this puzzle I have not revealed. Because there is one specific scenario where this combination can genuinely cause problems, and almost nobody talks about it. That is coming up. Stay with me. The research nobody is talking about, and the one mistake that actually causes damage. Now we are getting into the territory that separates people who actually understand supplementation from people who just read headlines and panic. Let me share some research with you that will probably never make it into a mainstream fitness video because it requires more than 30 seconds of attention span to understand. In 2022, a research team in Australia published a paper in the journal Nutrients that looked specifically at combined creatine and protein supplementation in adults over the age of 50. And what they found was remarkable. Not only was there no evidence of liver toxicity, but the group taking creatine combined with protein supplementation actually showed improved markers of metabolic health compared to the control group. Their insulin sensitivity improved, their inflammatory markers decreased, and their lean body mass increased, which, by the way, is critically important because after 50, you are losing roughly 1 to 2% of your skeletal muscle mass per year through a process called sarcopenia. That is not a small number. Over a decade, that adds up to potentially 20% of your muscle gone. And muscle is not just for looking good at the beach. Muscle is your metabolic armor. It regulates blood sugar, supports joint health, protects against falls, and is one of the single greatest predictors of longevity in older adults. But here is the mistake. Here is the one thing that can actually turn creatine and whey protein into a liver problem. And I need every single person watching this to hear me clearly. The mistake is not the supplements themselves. The mistake is what people take alongside them without thinking twice. Over-the-counter pain medications, specifically nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory drugs and acetaminophen. After 50, a significant percentage of men are popping ibuprofen or acetaminophen like they are breath mints. Bad knees, stiff back, sore shoulders. I get it. But acetaminophen is metabolized directly through the liver. And when you combine a high-protein intake with regular acetaminophen use, and perhaps a glass of wine or two in the evening, you are now creating a genuinely stressful environment for your liver. That is not the creatine's fault. That is not the whey protein's fault. That is a cocktail of habits converging on an organ that is already working at reduced capacity due to age. A study published in Hepatology Communications in 2023 confirmed that acetaminophen-induced liver injury is significantly more common in adults over 50 and is compounded by factors like alcohol use and high metabolic demand. So the supplement community is fighting about whether 5 grams of creatine is dangerous, while the real threat is sitting in your medicine cabinet right now looking completely innocent. And by the way, here is a fact that will blow your mind. Your liver is the only internal organ in the human body that can regenerate itself. You can lose up to 75% of your liver tissue, and it will grow back. The ancient Greeks actually knew this. That is what the myth of Prometheus is about. The eagle eating his liver every day and it growing back every night. The Greeks figured that out thousands of years before modern medicine caught up. Your liver is a warrior. But even warriors need you to stop punching them in the face with unnecessary medications while blaming the protein shake. If you are still with me, you are smarter than 90% of the people who clicked on this video. And the final section is where I am going to give you the definitive answer. Should you actually be taking creatine and whey protein after 50, or should you stop immediately? Let us settle this right now. The final verdict and what you should actually do starting today. All right, you have been patient. You have earned this. Let me give you the straight answer. Based on the current body of scientific evidence, and I am talking about peer-reviewed research, meta-analyses, long-term longitudinal studies, and position stands from the International Society of Sports Nutrition updated as recently as 2023, here is the truth. Creatine monohydrate and whey protein, taken at recommended dosages, do not cause liver damage in healthy adults over 50. Period. Full stop. The evidence is not ambiguous. It is not wishy-washy. It is overwhelmingly clear. In fact, the 2023 position stand from the International Society of Sports Nutrition, which is the most comprehensive review of creatine research ever conducted, analyzing over 700 studies, concluded that creatine monohydrate is the most effective and safest ergogenic nutritional supplement available. They did not say safe for young people. They said safe. Across all demographics studied, including older adults. Whey protein, at dosages between 20 to 40 grams per day, has been shown repeatedly to support muscle protein synthesis, improve recovery, boost glutathione production, and help combat sarcopenia in older adults. The European Society for Clinical Nutrition and Metabolism actively recommends higher protein intake for adults over 65, not less. So here's what you should actually do. First, get comprehensive blood work done, but ask your doctor to use cystatin C as a kidney function marker instead of relying solely on creatinine if you are supplementing with creatine. This will give you an accurate picture instead of a false alarm. Second, take 3 to 5 grams of creatine monohydrate daily. You do not need a loading phase. You do not need fancy forms. Monohydrate is the gold standard. Third, consume 20 to 40 grams of high-quality whey protein per day, ideally after resistance training. Fourth, and this is the big one, audit your medicine cabinet. If you are taking acetaminophen or ibuprofen regularly, talk to your doctor about liver-friendly alternatives. That is where the real risk lies, not in your supplement shaker. And fifth, start strength training if you are not already. Creatine and whey protein are tools. They work best when paired with actual resistance training. They are not magic powders. They are raw materials your body uses to rebuild, and your body needs a reason to rebuild. Give it that reason. Now I want to hear from you. If you are over 50 and you have been nervous about taking these supplements, drop the word active in the comments right now. You will get my free 30-day workout plan designed for men over 50, and you will join a community of men who are refusing to let age be an excuse. I built that plan because I genuinely care about your health and your longevity, and I want to see you thrive in this chapter of your life, not just survive it. Your liver is not your enemy. Misinformation is. And now you have the truth. I will see you in the next video. Stay strong. Stay informed. And for the love of your liver, put down the acetaminophen.